He always said teaching was about discipline, about shaping young minds to fit the world, not challenge it. But for Mr. Conrad, it was never about shaping minds. It was about control. Lincoln High School had a reputation for excellence, the kind of school where grades meant futures, and one man's opinion could make or break a student's life. Aisha Hussain was 17, top of her class, quiet, brilliant, and proud of her faith. She wore her hijab every day, soft blue, neatly pinned, a symbol of her identity, her peace. But to Mr. Conrad, it was something else, something that made her different. And in his classroom, being different was dangerous. It started with small comments, jokes that made the other students laugh. "Can you hear me through that thing?" he'd say. Or, "You must be sweating under there, huh?" Every laugh cut deeper, but Aisha said nothing. She'd learned that silence could sometimes be stronger than anger. Weeks later, when grades came out, Aisha's perfect record shattered. An F in history, the same subject she loved most, the one she had spent nights studying for. Every note, every essay, every fact memorized. Her mother, Fatima, worked nights at a local clinic. When Aisha showed her the grade, she saw heartbreak in her daughter's eyes. And something worse, disbelief. They went to the principal the next day, filed a complaint, showed the assignments, the attendance, the proof that Aisha deserved better. The school smiled politely, took notes, and promised to investigate. And then, nothing happened. Weeks passed. Conrad kept teaching, and Aisha kept shrinking into herself. The laughter, the whispers, the stares. All of it burned like acid every day she walked into that room. And one day, when she raised her hand to answer a question, Conrad ignored her. Instead, he pointed to another student, smiled, and said, "Let's hear from someone who actually understands history." That night, Aisha sat at her desk and stared at the failed paper. But anger began to replace the hurt. If no one would believe her, she would find proof. The next day in the library, a girl named Ella sat beside her. Ella looked nervous, her hands shaking slightly. She whispered, "I don't know if I should say this, but I saw something." Aisha looked up. Ella continued, "Mr. Conrad's computer. He had a folder of essays. And I swear, I saw yours in there. But the name at the top wasn't yours. It was his." Aisha froze. Everything around her blurred. Her essay, the one he failed her for. He'd stolen it. That night, the rain fell hard over Lincoln High. The halls were dark, echoing, empty. Aisha waited until everyone left, then slipped inside his classroom. Her heart pounded like thunder in her chest. She sat at his desk, turned on the computer, typed in the password she'd seen him use, his dog's name. It worked. She clicked through folders, one by one, until she found it. History Symposium Papers, Conrad. Inside, her essay. Every word, every comma, copied. But now with his name. Her breath caught in her throat. She took pictures with her phone, proof of what he'd done. Then she heard footsteps. The door creaked open. His voice. Low. Cold. "What are you doing here?" She froze, her phone still in her hand. He took a step forward, then another. "You think anyone's going to believe you?" he said. "You're nothing but a troublemaker hiding behind a scarf." But Aisha didn't say a word. She ran past him, out into the rain, her heart beating so fast. She thought it might break her ribs. The next morning, she walked into school calm, quiet, composed. And by that afternoon, the district's annual Teachers' Excellence Conference had begun. Mr. Conrad was on stage, smiling, confident, presenting his award-winning paper. The same paper she wrote. The lights dimmed. The projector flickered. And then, her words appeared on the screen. Not his. Hers. Side by side. Identical. The crowd gasped. Teachers whispered. Phones came out. And Aisha stood in the back, watching silently, as justice unfolded in real time. By the end of that day, he was suspended. By the end of the week, fired. And soon after, charged with plagiarism and discrimination. The story spread fast. The teacher who failed a student for her hijab, only to fail himself in the worst way possible. For the first time in months, Aisha smiled. Her faith had been tested, but it hadn't broken. That night, she sat in her small apartment, the city lights flickering through her window. Her mother hugged her tightly, whispering, "You did it, my love. You showed them who you are." And for a brief, beautiful moment, it felt like peace, like everything was over, until her phone buzzed. A message. No name, no number, just words. You shouldn't have gone through his computer. Attached a photo. Her. In her room. Taken through her window. Her hands began to shake. She turned slowly toward the curtain, and through the faint crack, she saw the shape of a car parked across the street. Lights off. Engine running. She froze. The phone buzzed again. A new message. Mr. Conrad wasn't the only one watching you. The screen flickered, the window's reflection catching her terrified eyes. Outside, the car door opened. And then silence. Sometimes, victory isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a new kind of fear. Aisha Hussain thought the nightmare was over. Mr. Conrad was gone, exposed, and disgraced. But the night she received that message, something inside her shifted. The photo sent to her phone showed her room. The curtains slightly open, the light from her desk lamp spilling across the floor. Whoever took it had been close. Too close. Her mother was asleep in the next room. Aisha didn't wake her. She just turned off the light, closed the curtain, and sat in the dark for hours, watching the street. The car never moved. And by dawn it was gone. The next morning, she told herself it was overreaction. Maybe a prank, a coincidence. But when she checked her window, there were fresh footprints in the mud below. Men's boots. Large ones. The fear was back, heavier this time. She took her phone to the police. They filed a report, but the officer's tone was indifferent. He said online threats were common. Without an identifiable number, there wasn't much they could do. He even smiled a little, saying, "You're safe now. The teacher's gone. It's probably just a student messing with you." But Aisha knew better. The message didn't feel like a prank. It felt like a warning. 3 days later, she got another text. A short video. It was grainy, shaky, recorded from a phone. The camera pointed at a folder on a computer screen. The folder name read, Lincoln, Evidence. Then the voice. A man's. Deep. Calm. He said, "You opened the wrong door, Aisha." And the screen went black. She dropped the phone, her pulse racing. The sound of that voice. It wasn't Mr. Conrad's. It was someone else. Someone older. Colder. That night, she searched the internet for anything related to the case. Old news articles, local coverage, school reports. That's when she found something strange. A name buried in one of the faculty emails leaked after Conrad's suspension. Assistant Principal, Daniel Knox. He had approved all of Conrad's grading submissions. And there was something else. An old conference video where both men appeared together. Mr. Conrad and Knox, presenting data ethics in education. The irony stung. In the video, Knox said something that chilled her. In teaching, the line between truth and control is thin. Sometimes, controlling truth is the only way to maintain order. Control. That was the word. The same thing Conrad used to say in class. The same poison, just from a different mouth. Aisha printed out the photo from her window, the screenshots from the video, and the leaked email. She took them to the school board. They promised to review it. But behind their polite smiles, she saw it, the same quiet fear. Knox wasn't just another teacher. He had connections. He'd been with the district for 20 years. The next week, her phone buzzed again. Another video. This time, her mother, leaving work at night. The camera followed her as she crossed the street to their apartment. Then the same voice. "You're in over your head." Aisha screamed, dropped the phone, and ran outside. Her mother was home, safe, but shaken when Aisha told her. They went to the police again. This time, the officer's tone changed. He said Knox was respected, that accusing him could complicate things. He even warned her not to stir up more attention. But Aisha didn't back down. She posted everything online. The messages, the photos, the videos. Within hours, the story exploded. Hashtag Justice for Aisha trended across social media. People demanded answers. News outlets called. Reporters waited outside her school. And then, silence. The posts disappeared. Every one of them. Her account was suspended for policy violations. Emails bounced back undelivered. Her backup drive, corrupted. Everything gone. Like someone had wiped her story clean. That night, she sat in her room, terrified but defiant. She started a new post on a burner account. Typed out everything again, word for word. And as she typed the last sentence, the cursor froze. Then her laptop camera light turned on. She slammed it shut and backed away. Her phone buzzed again. "We warned you. Stop digging." She ran to her mother's room. Empty. The bed was still made. The phone on the nightstand. Her mother's uniform folded neatly on the chair. Aisha's knees buckled. She called out, voice cracking. Mama. No answer. Then the apartment door creaked open. Slowly, the hallway light flickered. Footsteps. Soft. Heavy. Measured. She hid behind the table, heart pounding so hard it drowned out her thoughts. The footsteps stopped. A shadow stretched across the wall. Tall, broad-shouldered, unmoving. The phone buzzed one last time. A message appeared. If you want to see your mother again, bring the folder. She looked at her desk. The printed evidence, the photos, the flash drive she'd copied from the school computer. The one that had Conrad's files. The one labeled Student Archive. The door opened wider. She grabbed the drive, tears streaming down her face, and whispered to herself, "Who are you?" Then, a voice from the darkness. Familiar. Calm. Mocking. "You already know me, Aisha. I was the one who graded your teacher." The screen flickers. The sound of rain returns. And everything fades to black. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share and subscribe to this channel.